Hello, what's happening, YouTube fam? This is your boy J Money here, and I got you guys, as promised, some wind-ups. It's been a while. Firewall getting banned really put a damper on this deck, but little did I know, if you guys can remember what I said a while ago, Magician plus Shark can literally do anything you want. It would extra link, except it's kind of impossible to do that without the assistance of another card like Goblin, or, you know, Firewall did kind of carry wind-up cards. So as you can probably see, there's no wind-up bat in here anymore. There's no machine duplication, because again, wind-up bat was one of the best cards when Firewall was in the game. Now that Firewall is banned, wind-up bat is kind of trash again. Simply for the fact that there's no way to like loop them. Yeah, you can grab stuff to your hand, but if you have no way to summon those cards that you grabbed to your hand, then it literally doesn't matter. Like, there's no point if you have no way to summon them. And that's unfortunate, but we replaced them with the Symphonic package. We managed to get this down to an even 40. The whole point of this deck now is to just turbo out 86 2.0. S0 Utopic Zexal. As you can see, we got the rank of magic in here. The reason why this deck can consistently make it is because the deck can easily put out level 3s. So you just make a Rebarian Shark and you link 4 into Saryuja. You go Saryuja Chain Link 1, Rebarian Chain Link 2. You'll stack any rank of magic normal spell on the top of your deck, and then you'll just immediately draw it. You know, you'll use Saryuja, you know, get 2 level 4s, you make Utopia and Utopia Ray. Now you will see some replays in here where I had lightning, and for some reason in the middle of the card text, lightning cannot, it says it cannot be used as Xyz material. Somebody pointed that out, and that really sucks. So now I have to get a Utopia Ray for no reason, or a Utopia Prime. I can't find it though. We also got a Bahamut Shark just in case we can't get 2 level 3s, but we have like 2 sharks on the board and we can Bahamut Shark into this. There are some times to where you can make Utopic Zexal and Bahamut Shark and totally awesome. That's pretty neat, but there's a lot more Xyz in here than what I would like. But at least there's a little bit more links, you know, it's a little bit more generic. But yeah, anyway, with that being said, I will go ahead and just show you guys a combo tutorial as to how this works. Alright guys, so here we are. Essentially, again, if you can access Magician Shark, you're good to go. I have this playing on normal speed because this thing is kind of slow. I don't know what's going on, but you know, we go ahead and we have to discard that Call by the Grave because it's the only spell we have. Luckily our opponent didn't have any hand traps, but again, this is just a tutorial as to how the combo works. I'll do replays of the deck later, but this is just purely, you know, just showcasing the combo. You know, so we go and summon our Shark, and remember, Magician is at 3, so this is, you know, I decided to give this is the main reason why I decided to give this deck a try again, because again, I'd be doing this deck a disservice if I didn't at least give it another shot after seeing, you know, after seeing Magician go to 3. I was so blinded by the fact that Brilliant Fusion went to 1, I didn't even, well, I did kind of notice Magician was at 3, but I kind of like dismissed it simply because it's like, we don't have Carrier and we don't have Firewall Dragon to do what we want to do. So, you know, I kind of dismissed it, but, you know, little did I know, and I was thinking about, okay, you can do 86 Turbo in this deck, but then they banned 86, and I'm like, well, that sucks. But, you know, little did I know, hey, you can just overlay 2 level 3s and just immediately access Utopic Zexal for no reason. So, Butterfly is a lot more consistent. Now the Magician is at 3 copies over 2. So that's also really good. So we're going to switch right to defense, and we're of course going to summon one of the Magicians. Now, there is still a Magician that's in the deck, and that's really important to kind of finish the combo for later. And this guy's thinking all my plays are like really impressive. I'm like, oh no. No, you haven't seen this deck with Firewall then. And Nightmare Goblet. Again, Like, there's so many situations to where if I had Nightmare Goblin in my extra deck, a lot more hands could just go from like bricky and awkward to really playable because of that discard and that extra normal summon on demand. Like, you don't have to worry about drawing into double summon. You don't have to worry about drawing into guitar, because a lot of times you won't draw into either of them, and that can be discouraging at times. And there's no way to like activate a card and just search out guitar, or is there? I don't know. I'll actually have to look at that because it is a pendulum card, so I'll need to actually search and look for ways that I can just search out a Symphonic Warrior. So as you can see, we changed start to level 3. That Magician all the way to the left has not used its effect yet. So we got 4 monsters that aren't the Magician over there. So we're going to go ahead and make our Skoldeat. And we're going to go Skoldeat Link 1. Link 2 is going to be Rebarian, to where we can legally stack our deck. So, you know, that's awesome. Alright. I could have sworn I did the combo much faster than this, but I guess I was wrong. But there you go. We went ahead and stacked it, and now we're just going to draw it. And we drew Air's Rock Sunrise, which is like perfect. Like one of our 3 extenders. Rip Soul Charge. But, you know, we're just going to put the Y Note kitten back in. Alright. So now, because we have, like, okay, Magician Shark is automatic Zexal. But if you have Magician Shark and any other, like, Reborn-ish kind of card, like any kind of Reborn extender, you're also going to be able to make Bahamut Shark and Totally Awesome on top of that, which is pretty fantastic. So we revealed Shark, and we went ahead and we summoned out a Wind-Up Warrior from the deck. I think that's what, yeah, that's what we did. And we're going to use Rat, and we're going to summon out Shark from the graveyard. So we're going to use Wind-Up Warrior, and we're going to make Wind-Up Rat a level 4. And we're going to make our Utopic Zexal with those. And then we have 2 Sharks, which are both level 4 waters. We got our Bahamut Shark and our Totally Awesome ready. The reason why this is important is because even though you make Utopic Zexal, there's a very high likelihood of going against Sky Strikers or Ultra guys to where they don't really care about Zexal, because S0 loses to back row decks. Back row decks are its worst enemy, so that's one of the reasons why it's like, okay, it's a pseudo 86, but it's not really 86. If you're going against like decks like Ultra guys that, oh, I don't need to activate anything this turn, I can literally just set all my cards. I can literally just go set protocol, set spoofing, you know, set all that stuff. And Utopic Zexal can't use its effect during either player's turn. It can only be used during the opponent's turn, which of course your opponent can just seize the opportunity to spring all those cards on you. Not only that, but against a deck like Sky Strikers, you can literally sit here and attempt to activate that effect, and they can just Widow Anchor you on the spot. And that's what the Toad is for. The Toad is just to stop impermanence on the Zexal, because that happens a lot. Well, not a lot, but expect it to happen. Expect your opponent to just, if they know you're going for an S0, then they can just hold the impermanence and hit you on the standby phase when you activate it. I've actually had my S0 get hit by Gamma because I think my opponent was playing Shadal Dinosaurs or something, and I literally waited and waited. I let him go into main phase 1. I waited for him to attempt to activate impermanence on the S0, because you don't need to use S0 during the you don't need to use S0 during the standby phase. Let me go and pause this. You can use it at any time on your opponent's turn, and so I sat there and waited for him to play a card so he couldn't drop impermanence from his hand. And I knew if he did have impermanence, like, he doesn't just want to activate it, because at that point I would just go chain S0 and it would just take effect. So I waited for him to play a card. He plays Shadal Fusion, and I respond with the S0, and that's when he responds with Cypher and Gear Gamma. And that really sucked. So, yeah. the whole time I'm trying to play around impermanence, I smack into a Gamma, and I was like, okay, so now what you need to do is you need to wait for them to summon a monster. Wait for a monster to hit the board. If you know your opponent does play impermanence, just wait for them to set a card or play a card. Don't let them trick you into using any effects during the standby phase. You know, even if your opponent's playing a kaiju, it's worth the risk of your opponent not just dropping an impermanence after, you know, because you decide to shotgun S0. Like, you know, sometimes it's worth them resolving one card if it means your S0 still gets resolved. So, anyway, hopefully you guys learned something here on how to execute S0 plus Bahamut Shark. Again, all you need is just one more extender. Not even an extender, like literally Magician Shark and access to a wind-up rat after you summon Saryuja, whether it's a rat in your hand or, you know, or whether it's an AR Rock Sunrise, a Monster Reborn, a World Legacy Succession, whatever that may be. So that's the combo. Again, Magician Shark can basically do whatever you want except Extra Link. You probably could Extra Link, but you're not going to make a good Extra Link with a Tri-Gate, so that's something I would just tend to avoid. So anyway, let me know what you guys' thoughts on this. I think this is the best way to play windups at this point without Firewall Dragon. You can't even really, you can hand loop 3 cards from your opponent's hand, but hand looping 3 is arguably worse than just leaving them with a full hand and having a Zexal, simply for the fact that you know, graveyard shenanigans, your opponent still can play. You're not looking at their hand and sniping cards. I mean, you're hitting cards at random, so, you know, hitting half your opponent's hand arguably isn't that great. Like, the only reason Gumblar for 4 was good is because you had a negate on top of all of that, or you had a Dark Law. But anyway, that's enough rambling. Let me know what you guys think about this. Thank you guys very much for watching. This is J Money, and I am signing out.